السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Good morning, Instagram fam, friends and followers of As-Safi. Thank you for getting up with me this morning. And thank you for catching up with us later and joining the program and following the series. Today will be the first installment in a series of installments this week under the theme, Your Shahadah, Your Pact with Allah. Don't break your pact, your promise to Allah. Don't break your promise. Brothers and sisters, I think most of us would consider ourselves men and women of our word. I think that if we make a promise or commit to do something, we feel obligated to follow through. We also think when we're on the other side of that, somebody makes us a promise, we think it's a sign of poor character for someone to promise or make a pact and then break it. Even if things change, even if there are extenuating circumstances, fulfilling the promise is not as easy as first anticipated. There's some difficulties, there's some challenges in following through. Even in that case, when we're on the other side of it, we feel people must follow through because they promised. That's what we feel. We feel like whatever the situation is, you made a promise, do what you have to do to fulfill your promise. And we feel that way when we're on the promising side and when we're on the side of the one to whom the promise has been made. Now I want to ask you a question, brothers and sisters. The Shahadah, or the Shahadah 10. What is it, or what are they, these two proclamations, these two declarations of faith? What are they at their essence? What are they at their core? Certainly, from one angle or on one side, they are an acknowledgement, an admission, a confession of sorts. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala jalla jalaluhu wa aduma sultanu is the one and only true deity. And that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is his deputy. On the one side, certainly, that's what the Shahadah is. But it is also built into it, part and parcel of it, a necessity and a requirement of that proclamation is a commitment, a pact that we make to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to deify and worship Him. Also, it's a commitment and pact and a promise that we make to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we will worship and serve Him in the manner exemplified and taught by His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's the meaning of Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. I testify that there's no deity worthy of worship except Allah, and that Muhammad is a messenger of Allah. I acknowledge the truth of this, and I'm going to act in accordance with that truth. I'm going to act in the way required by this admission. I commit to behave in this way. It's a commitment, it's a pact. So brothers and sisters, when we say the Shahada, we are promising Allah and giving Him our word that we will worship Him to the best of our ability. It's not always going to be perfect, but we're going to worship Him to the best of our ability. We're going to strive to be good worshippers of Allah and good followers of His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam to the best of our ability. And this promise isn't always easy to fulfill. And some of us, we accepted Islam because we saw its beauty, because we were intrigued by the rituals. We accepted Islam for some reason. There was something about Islam that drew us to it. Islam had this certain magnetism, and we were caught in its pull. So we accepted Islam. And then once we got into it, we feel like, or some of us may have felt like, or may feel like, we bit off more than we could chew. It's more than what we bargained for. And this promise to worship Allah to the best of our ability, to follow His Messenger to the best of our ability, is not easy as we thought it was going to be. And maybe some of us are what? Are thinking about not following through, or not following through fully. Doing half of what we promised. Doing a part or a portion of what we promised, and some of us are actually thinking or have thought about and have ultimately decided, I'm not going to follow through. But even though the promise isn't always easy to fulfill, brothers and sisters, it's a promise. It's a pact nonetheless, and we can't be the people who are more committed to keeping our word when we give it to the people than we are when we give it to Allah. We don't want to be those people. We're the people who, when we give our word to the people, man, by hook or by crook, I'm going to do what I said I was going to do. And now here we are making a pact with the Creator, Jalla Jalaluhu, the owner, the master of the universe, to whom we are going to be returned for judgment and sentencing on the day of resurrection. Are we going to be the people who our word when we give it to the people is more valuable than our word when we give it to Allah? Something to think about, something to talk about, a discussion that should be had. Inshallah ta'ala, we're going to have that discussion this week. So keep tuning in, keep catching up, keep following the series, and we look forward to seeing you for the rest of the week. We also look forward and hope that you'll share these messages with others. Until tomorrow, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh from Team As-Safi.